Hey everybody, welcome to the Winter Rules Podcast, the Tee to Green Winter Rules Podcast, presented by Golf Dojo, which we are at that weather now, that time of year where I think booking golf at Golf Dojo at any of their soon-to-be three locations, the
Yeah,
way to go, of course, the ones Williamsville and Niagara Falls Boulevard, and the other one soon to open a couple weeks, right?
I think they said November. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
it might be
November
a
in the
week.
South
Well,
Downs.
November Saturday.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're,
right. That's true.
we're getting very close. So we look forward to great news from our partners at Golf Dojo with that. But yeah, like every morning, it seems like we got the frost delay now, and of course, daylight's getting shorter, and it's going to get even shorter this weekend because we turn the clocks
Is that
back.
this weekend?
That
Oh,
is this
geez.
weekend. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think Saturday. So we fall back, right? So we gain an hour, but that means it's like dark at 5 p.m.
Yeah, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I had mentioned to you before we jumped on here that we had a frost delay in a tournament I was supposed to
Right.
play in on Sunday, which we ended up bailing on. But yeah, 7:45, we get there. Yeah, it wasn't happening. Unfortunately, they didn't let us know in advance. So we
Oh,
drove all the way to the course, and then
my.
like, yeah, frost delay for 2 hours. We're like, okay, well, now we got to figure out what we want to do. And the Bills game was coming on at 1, so
That's
uh, ended up
listen.
bailing on it.
If you're a golf course watching out, you gotta let your well. First of all, expect a frost delay, like pretty much from now on, especially if
Yeah,
it's some topography in the golf course. So low-lying areas will get frost. Secondly, you've got to let your customers know there's a frost
yeah.
delay. I
And we
mean,
were a little further away from the lake as well, so you kind of knew heading into more of the valleys, Genesee Valley, Wyoming County, that you're going to experience that frost delay. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I get it. It's a business, a revenue business, but that's a little tough go there. All right, listen, I want to talk about. Oh, by the way, you're like where Koziel, where's Metis,
Yeah. Yeah.
both occupied this evening, so they're not with us. Too bad for them. Okay for us. All right, so
Right.
they don't get to debate this
That,
unless they
that's true.
are doing comments. So I was thinking about this based upon I was just at the Bank of Utah Championship, which we're going to get to more on that later. But I was just thinking, it was about time of play and stuff. And I think we've debated this before, and I just wanted to bring it up again about just simplifying everything when it comes to a penalty.
Yep.
And we have white stake, yellow stake, red stake still, and I think just to simplify it, and perhaps this is more of a amateur thing, but I still think it fits the same for the pros too. Um, just red stake everything. Like the
Mm.
down and distance, if you will, stroke and distance in golf. It's too penal, especially for amateurs. It is definitely too penal for amateurs. You pump one out of out of bounds off the tee. It is penal. Some enact the local rule, which they're allowed to do, where you can drop in the fairway and hit four. Think about that one for a second, right?
Yeah, I think that's this rule here.
Yes,
So that was back in 2019, at least that they introduced it, where at least my understanding based on the diagram here, you determine kind of where your ball went out, and then you pick a spot in the fairway,
yes,
closest to where it went out, and then you can hit your, if you take your two stroke penalty as you would for out of bounds, you can play the ball from the fairway. I don't know what
correct.
you think about that. I'm with you on the out of bounds. I don't know if
Well,
this is a
so
hot take or
I've
not.
done this. I've played where that local rule's been in play, um, where if you hit it out of bounds, you can pick the nearest point in the fairway and hit the fourth. And the advantage of that is twofold, right? One for pace of play. The other one is you don't have to worry about firing another one out of bounds, right?
Yeah.
So you're perhaps still in the hole, right? You can if it's a par four. Well, I mean, you're hitting par. It's like it's par five. Maybe you can get on in two essentially, but most chances are if you hit it out of bounds, you're not anywhere as near where you're going to get that ball on and the green the next time. So you're staring at double already. Um, you really have no chance at par unless a miracle happens. And if you take triple, usually, depending upon your handicap, you can't post that anyways. If you're going hole by hole, it'll knock you
Yeah,
down,
that's
right?
very true. Yeah, no, that
So,
is true.
so to me, I'm like, this is too penal still.
Yeah,
I understand it's out of bounds. Sometimes there's internal out of bounds. Most often, though, it is determining a boundary line of the property where it's out of bounds. Um, I just think I think stroke and distance is too far, and if you hit one out of bounds, again, you're making a big number in most cases. I'm talking about amateurs now, and again, if you're putting your scores in properly, it's going to knock down that snowman you made, even that triple sometimes. Yip Strickler would be all over that. I hope you
yeah,
don't follow him on Instagram or uh,
yeah,
Twitter. Yotto, he's fun with it. But so I just think, hey, let's just simplify it. All right, let's just make everything red staked. I mean, maybe you keep the white stake just to signify property lines. There's homeowners, or maybe I want you in the yard. Red, you can play the ball, but maybe you keep a white stake, but enact the same rules where, okay, it's a 2 club length drop, and here you go. You're hitting 3, you're still taking a penalty. It's not as if you're not being penalized for the poor shot. You still are being penalized. You're still at a disadvantage against the competition because you are taking a penalty. What are your thoughts on it, Jeff?
well, I put these fire emojis as if it was going to be very controversial, but
well, I mean, what controversy is it?
well, that's the thing. Without Metis here, who's more of a purist, I guess
Uh,
I would say, of the four of
right.
us,
He
I
still
am
thinks he
in.
can Persimmon Woods too.
Well,
But
that's also true. Yeah, I'm in 100% agreement with you. I mean, this isn't good for podcasting and not having a contrarian kind of view of this. I'm in 100% agreement. I've started to play a little bit more, amateur events, and every round I've played in some of these events, somebody has to take that. Well, for us, drive of shame back to the tee,
sure.
which holds up the course. Now, should you be playing provisional? Of course, yeah. But there's cases where, oh no, that ball's in play, and then you come to find out it's an inch out of bounds, which is a whole nother story of this. Like, okay, an inch to the right, you're fine. Inch to the left, you're not. Okay, what's fair, what's not fair? But I'm with you 100%. I don't understand why it can't just be red stakes. I would say if we want to get specific with this, I would get rid of any internal out of bounds. If you want to do boundaries of the course, okay, this is the definition of what is inside the course boundaries. That's fine. Internal out of bounds, I think, is taking it a step too far. And
Well,
so,
I'm gonna all right. I'm gonna so see now this contradicts my whole thing here.
oh no,
Well, we can call it. You can call it out of bounds. I just think the penalty for out of bounds is too penal. The stroke and
yes,
distance for it.
correct.
But I still think there should be some internal out of bounds because there are, especially with the distance now, players hit the ball, they will take different routes. Um,
Yeah,
Sony Open in Hawaii, for example, at Waialae Country Club, they had to take the 10th hole. On the 18th hole, the players were starting to hit it up 10.
yeah,
They have a shorter angle over the trees to the green at 18, the par 5, so they made an internal out of bounds. It's not to prevent the scoring, but it was to prevent the problems when guys are trying to play 10 and balls are flying at them right there. The pace.
yeah. No, I'm actually, rethinking what I said. I think that is because you're not in that case, you're not playing the hole in which it was
It's
designed,
intended.
right?
Yes,
It
yes.
kind of reminds you of what is it, 13 at Augusta, moving the tees back, so to make sure that you're playing the hole the way it's supposed to be played. I might have it wrong. Maybe it's not 13, but they moved the tees back to make
Oh,
sure the
sure, the
people
par
had
five.
had the
Yeah.
right clubs in hand heading into the, the approach shot into the green. It's a little
Well,
different story, but
yeah.
you want the holes to be played in which they were designed. And technology has made it such, physical fitness, players getting stronger have made it such that now you're not playing holes in the way they were intended. So yeah,
Now
I can
let's not
understand
sit
that.
here and act like all of us and all of you watching haven't found you hit an errant shot and you're like, whoa, this is not a bad way to play the hole. Maybe
Sure.
right. I mean, listen, at my home club, Lancaster Country Club, there are some holes where you hit an errant shot, and it's like, all right, I think of our 15th. We have our 3 par fives. There's only 3 in the course, are all
Yeah.
adjacent to each other. 7, 15, 16. Well, if you're on the tee at 15, and this is really the only one that it really works on. If you can smash it, you can play it up the right side and have a better angle into 15. If you end up tugging your tee shot, which I do often, they're trying to pound one.
No, you hit that baby fade all the time. Come on.
I've been hitting more of a trying to hit
A pull draw. All
yeah,
right.
yeah, a little distance, right?
Yeah.
It's like chasing distance. But in it typically just a little baby draw. But if I hook it, I'm on 16 and I don't recover back to 15. I'll play it up 16. Not the way it's intended, but I still got a chance to get on there and make I have a birdie attempt. So
yeah, there's no trees over there. As you get closer to that green, you actually have a decent angle.
Same thing
into the
on
green.
3. Same thing
Yeah.
on 3. If I end up pulling it
Mhm.
long and left,
Mhm.
I've got a little flop shot over the bunker on number 3. Now that green's
Yeah.
more penal, but it's not a terrible way to play the hole, depending on pin position for it. So I'm going to raise my hand and say guilty of playing some holes the way they're not intended. That's where
Yeah.
superintendents and head professionals and committees may say, all right, internal out of bounds. But even if you had it there, all right, internal out of bounds, the stroke and distance to me is just too penal, especially the amateur game. Because the pros are so good, we can keep it that way for the professionals. I just think red stake everything.
Yep.
Because even when you have yellow stakes, it's still confusing for golfers. And there's typically a drop zone to play from, which does simplify things to make it move forward. But I just think for the amateurs and the rules of golf, everybody knows red. They know how to play red. They know what to do in red. They know they can play out of red if possible. They know how to execute the drop of red. And it's the simplest, I think, the simplest rule in golf. Am I wrong about that?
No. Again, it's tough because I can't really challenge any of this because I'm in 100% agreement.
Oh, you're supposed to make it up.
I know I'm supposed to make it up and give the contrarian view, but I really don't have it here. But I do want to shout out quickly. We got a friend of ours that's watching on Instagram, Mr. Tom Capola,
Hey,
part of the
right.
part owner of GolfDojo, which is sponsoring our podcast here this year and actually every year that we've been doing it here. So big shout out to Tom. Hopefully
We're going to
you're still
have
listening
Tom.
here. Yeah.
We're going to have Tom on the show, but perhaps our next one because
Yeah.
we'll talk about the new location. So
yeah, we'll be frequenting GolfDojo many times this winter.
Yeah, I actually want to go more this winter to work on a couple things, swing things, and one being the speed, swing speed, and really get that dialed in. But I blank, you drive the ball well and you putt the ball well, but the in between has been terrible. So I need to really get that ball striking down. Perhaps some lessons, but I think more practice because I'd only went like 3 times, I think, last winter. Now, part of that was work schedule and such, but you really got to keep the saw sharp. You can't just not do it. So that's one of the great things about GolfDojo. And when you get a membership there, you can go at any time, get the access. All right,
there's 24/7 too.
24/7. Well, listen, if you're
beautiful
going
thing.
there at 3 in the morning.
Well,
maybe. I tell you, when I used to do morning radio, I'd get up at 3 in the morning. I'd hit the gym. The gym that was near the station was open 24 hours. It was fabulous. So
what's
I'd
a
go in.
gym?
Well, when you're
Hmm.
your size, you don't need one. When you're mine, you need one. Anyway, I used to go to the gym. They had, shower up, go to work. It was great. It was like I
Yeah.
had 2 hours to myself beforehand. So you can actually do that
Yeah.
at Golf Dojo. You can go play before work, which would be
Yeah, I
brilliant.
think I think Tom and Jeff were saying that, a lot of doctors that work off shifts, different. They end up there at 3 in the morning. I don't know that I'm not as dedicated to show up at 3 a.m., but I will be there quite a bit this winter.
All right. We need to talk about a professional golfer who really had a terrible case of the yips
Yeah.
and decided to figure out a different way of overcoming it. Like if it doesn't work one way, go the blank way. And that's left-handed, Jeff.
And it's not just any player. This is a former number one in the world back in probably, I don't know, 2014 or so, or maybe even earlier than that. This was somebody that was dominating women's golf. And then, like you said, just over a period of time, just completely lost the putter to the point where I think she tried different grips, different styles, and then I don't know the name of her coach, but he was the one that actually suggested kind of going nuclear in a way and kind of saying just completely abandon everything you know about putting in terms of right-handed and go left-handed. And she's been dabbling with that for the past, I think, year or so, and actually bringing it into tournament. But I mean, just think about that. The pressure of tournament play. And she was in an event with the Ladies European Tour this past week and won the tournament. Like just the level of competition, whether it's the LPGA or the LET, which would be kind of
Professional
the
golf. It's
professional
professional.
golf, to win an event, putting a completely different, I guess, orientation than you've ever had in your entire career. And winning the event is just incredible to me. And we got a picture of her here
Yeah.
putting left-handed. I mean,
Now, you sure it's
it
not
just
a
blows
picture?
me away.
You sure it's not a picture of mirrored, like
Yeah,
flipped?
right. That's what you would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But her coach gave her the idea. She took it and ran with it, and she kind of said maybe she's right eye dominant. I'm not sure. I'd have to get the details a little bit more. But for me, I'm actually right-handed, and I'm right eye dominant, and I play anything swinging, baseball, golf, hockey is left-handed for me,
You
but
play
I'm actually
left-handed.
right-handed. But what it helps me for being left-handed and right eye dominant is I can see the line better. Like if I were, and I have tried to putt right-handed and I just don't see the line. And that's one thing she spoke about that has really changed her putting is with being right eye dominant. And that's, obviously facing the hole. That is something that has helped her see the line better as she's over the putts. So I found that to be
Hmm.
really interesting. And if people are struggling with putting or even have the yips, that could be something you dabble with. But I found that to be astonishing that somebody could do that at that level. I mean, that's the most drastic change I think I've ever seen.
All right. Well, let
Uh,
me ask you this question, Jeff. Don't you think? Wait, now you're a long putter guy too, right?
I kind of do a mid. I'm
Well,
counterbalance right now.
you have how many putters? You have 60, or is
Yeah,
it
something
more?
like you need to multiply by 3.
You have 180 putters.
It's up there. It's probably
What?
160 right now. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right.
Yeah, it's bad.
All right. All right. Well,
That's a different kind. That's a therapy session, Kevin.
all
We're
right.
talking about
But
Yanni.
okay. But so don't you think if you putted right-handed, you could fare? I mean, obviously you don't fashion. I mean, you can't fashion yourself a good putter if you've gone through 160.
All right, so or we're gonna go there. All right, 160 putters isn't because I have the yips
You're a
or
collector.
I'm
You're
a
a collector.
collector, so
Okay.
I probably only use maybe 5.
Okay. All right. Fair
But
enough.
most of them are. So we'll
You've
start there.
never told me you're a collector. All you've said is I have this money. All right. So you're a
That's
collector.
what I'm justifying with my wife. If she's
Okay.
listening somewhere in the house right now, I'm a collector.
And they're all $10.
They're all
Anyhow,
10 bucks. Yeah.
that was for
Yeah.
me.
Hmm.
But don't you think if you had to putt right-handed for a round. You could get it. You can get it around where it wouldn't be completely horrible. Meaning you're not
Yes.
four putting. You'd have
Hmm.
you probably have more three putts than you normally have, but you definitely would have some two putts in there, maybe two putt most of the holes.
The
I,
reason
I,
I say yes is I've seen you at the Duster Challenge take my putter, and again, I mean, not too bad. So I think distance control. I think you're right.
yes,
Swinging back. I mean, it's not too different there. But under pressure, I think is where that
but
can
I
become
also think you'd
kind of an issue.
concentrate more. I think you're concentrating more
Interesting.
because it's foreign. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
Like I just know when I grabbed your putter at the Duster, and I want to see if I got the putter right. It was a little thicker grip, right? It
Mhm.
was. Did you have the counterbalanced one there? Was it Fang?
I made it into a counterbalance. It was the
Okay,
Odyssey 7 putter.
okay. I knew it was an Odyssey. I
Mhm.
remember. And was it like the Jailbird, right, or something?
No, no, no. It's one of their slant versions, but no, it
Okay,
wasn't the Jailbird. But they
but
had, I think Callaway brought the Jailbird
oh,
to the
okay.
event, so that was there as well.
But I remember putting with it left-handed, and I just
Yep.
remember thinking to myself, all right, I felt like I concentrated more because I was on the opposite side.
Mhm.
Um, I've tried swinging a left-handed club and have done horribly with it. I've hit it,
Yeah.
but it's not the same. But putting, I just think it's very doable from the other
So
side.
question back to you. What do you think is more difficult? What Yanni Sang did putting left-handed or Matt Fitzpatrick chipping and pitching cross-handed
Uh, I think left-handed.
is more
I,
difficult?
well, so you're practicing both. Have you ever tried the cross-handed?
Putting or for
No, no,
chipping?
chipping.
No.
I have. It's weird, but
Yeah.
it's again, it's doable, right? It's
Yeah.
doable. And when you figure how much time he's put into it. But listen, if it worked great, everyone would do it. By the way,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's not like he's the best chipper around the greens on tour. He's not. All right.
No.
So if it worked great, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
VJ Singh and Matt Fitzpatrick are the only two that I've seen do it. So it's not. But hey, good for her. That's a name
Yeah.
every golf fan recalls. Yanni Sang, and who knows? Let's see. Let's see where that goes.
Yep.
Left-handed. Hey, so that's
Absolutely.
a name everybody knows. A name everybody's gonna know, I think, is this Michael Brennan, who just won. I was at the Bank of Utah Championship. He was on a sponsor's invite
Yep.
to the tournament, and typically, those. But you hope they make the cut, right? They want to represent, show well. And guy
Yeah.
goes out and wins the tournament. Now, very reminiscent to last year's winner of that tournament, Matt McCarty, who was in the final group,
Mhm.
but just had a very difficult final round where he shot one under, he struggled. But he'd won three times in the Corn Ferry Tour last year, and then wins that, right? Is got the automatic promotion to the PGA Tour. Michael Brennan won three times on PGA Tour Latino America, which was Canada and PGA Latin America. They combined those two tours. Well, he won three times, so he got promoted to the Corn Ferry Tour. But they don't have tournaments anymore because the Corn Ferry Tour finals are done. He'd have to wait till next year. But the Bank of Utah, the sponsor, gave him an invite. How these work, by the way, players will write letters or their agents. They get somebody to vouch for them, whatever. Well, having won three times on PGA Tour America is certainly a compelling story.
Yep.
And the guy shows up and wins. But let me tell you, I was found him in the final round for PGA Tour Radio. I didn't see him the first three rounds. I'm in the final round in that group because I was with Rico Hoey and Matt McCarty. Those are my golfers in that group. And Mark
Yep.
Sakina had Brennan. And so it's the first time I'd seen Brennan in person. And immediately I was like, man, this guy's got it. Like he just had the He had the walk, the game. He pounded the ball. I mean, now there was a higher elevation. It was 2,000 feet, so it's going to go a little further in the desert. But man, did he just blister
So
the golf course.
yeah, and I want to get to your experiences in Utah as well, but to that point was averaging 319 yards off the tee, which was third in the rankings during the tournament. But then you add into that guy who can absolutely smash it with a guy that finished eighth in strokes gained putting for the week at over 1.35 strokes gained putting on a course like that, where again, it better than I would. I'm assuming a lot of pound and hit some wedges. If you're a guy that can hit it 319 on average and have 1.35 strokes gained putting, I don't know how you lose.
Well, there were a couple holes, like there were some bold choices. Like so it's pretty, it's a resort course, right? And I don't know if you saw it on TV. There's
Yeah,
all
yeah, I
this
did.
lava rock. I mean, it's visually stunning. It it is one of the most visually appealing golf courses I've ever been to. Um, it is up there with Kapalua as far as the vistas, but just in a different way, right? Desert mountains, the red rocks behind. It's just an incredible property. And to have all that lava rock, I think millions of years ago, that was lava. They had to blast dynamite every hole, right? To put the hole there. Tom
That's
Wise.
incredible.
Let me tell you, it's just unbelievable. The cart paths, it's like a roller coaster ride. I mean, just the turnbacks.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the tee boxes, you're on cliffs, hitting down. It is one I definitely want to have a chance to play someday.
Yeah, visually appealing, I don't think gives it justice. I think being there in person had to
It's
be
stunning. The place
incredible.
is stunning. But the greens had a lot of undulation. You had to control your spin. There were some tough hole locations, and he just I give the kid a ton of credit for what he did to come out and go out there and win that golf tournament. And look at that, he gets to skip the Corn Ferry Tour.
Yeah, I was going to say that. So he wins so many times on PGA Americas, so he gets Corn Ferry eligibility. Then he wins in this event,
Right.
bypasses that, and I think I read here he's ranked like 60 something in the world now. It's incredible. How does that even happen?
So what he does for you,
It's incredible.
well, think of it. This is like graduating college and skipping the master's portion and just grabbing your PhD.
Right.
That's essentially what he's done at age 23 to go ahead and do that. So,
You had mentioned, Matt McCarty, last year, obviously Aldrich Packeter was another one that kind of showed up. What these players all seem to have in common, and this isn't a new phenomenon, they're absolutely crushers off the tee. I mean, Matt McCarty, even this week, was
well, McCarty,
311 off the tee.
yeah, McCarty
Average.
wasn't originally, by the way, though.
But he picked it. He picked it up.
He worked on it to
Yeah.
get more distance. He was more of a short, accurate hitter, which seems weird for a man of his size. But he worked on it to get that distance and smash it, and played aggressively. Like he tried to drive the fifth green every time all week long. Where other players, Brennan laid back with an iron off the tee in that final round. Obviously McCarty was chasing him, but here's the one thing I would say about PGA Tour players in general: they play it aggressive, and they live with the consequence, right? They accept, hey, I'm going to try to hit this as far as I can, and they accept it may not end up in a good spot.
I have a cat.
I see that
across the screen here. So there's a cat making his introduction into the Winter Rules podcast here. So
all right. Well, that may be with Halloween coming up on Friday.
Yeah, black cat walking by your podcast. What does that mean?
I think that's fitting. Hey, final thing. What are you giving out at the Blank House?
All right. So Kit Kats and Twix bars are kind of the main theme this year. We got some Skittles and Starburst as well mixed in there, but I kind of go with my favorites. What about you?
I was put in charge of going to buy the candy. I did it earlier today.
Okay.
and I bought the stuff I like because I
Exactly.
figure it's going to rain, so
Mhm.
there may not be a lot. So
Yep.
I got the little Twizzlers, some Kit Kats, all right,
Mhm.
some gummy bears. I
You
like all
mentioned you were a Twizzler guy to me before.
uh,
I'm a Twizzler guy. They're good.
dangerously a Twizzler guy. So, all right, Blank, we've done it.
You got it.
We will be back again in a couple weeks. We'll get the whole crew back together. Hey, if you haven't checked out Golf Dojo, their
Yep.
locations in Williamsville, Niagara Falls, again, go to mygolfdojo.com. You can become a member, and there's a lot of benefits to being a member. You get reduced rates and such, and you're going to want it for this winter for golfing. So until
You know
next
what?
time.
You
Oh,
know
yes,
what Halloween means as well? I think I'm accurate here. It's the end of posting season.
you're
I think it's
right,
the
aren't you?
31st, I believe.
I think you're correct. In New York
I,
State.
in New York State.
In New York
Yes.
State. The
Yeah.
end
I
of
didn't
post.
want to interrupt your closing statement
No,
there,
no,
but
no. It's that's
we're
it's a good
upon that.
point.
Yeah.
So the end of posting season. So then you can go out and fire your great rounds. You don't have to put them on there.
Exactly.
But if you do it out of
Sandbagger.
state, if you do it out of
Yeah.
state down south, you do have to.
Yeah, then you got to post it.
Then you've got to post it.
Yeah.
So
Very good.
keep that in mind. All right. He's Jeff Blank. I'm Kevin Sylvester. Thanks for watching the Tee to Green Winter Rules podcast.